Should you always listen to everything that your guidance counselors or your mentors are telling you in your engineering career? In this week's Engineering Management Lessons video, I have with me Heidi Klein. Heidi's a forensic engineer and a project manager at Vertex in Denver, Colorado. And Heidi, you think back on your career and you can think of something that you did, and maybe you didn't always follow the advice that was given, but what was your philosophy? What was something that you did that may have been different than others, and how did it help you in your career? Before we dive in, we'd like to recognize our sponsor for this episode, PPI, a leader in engineering exam prep for the FE and PE exams. PPI provides expert prep courses and study resources designed to help you pass the FE and PE exams the first time. PPI's live online courses include hours of lectures, problem-solving demonstrations, exam strategy sessions, office hours, and a passing guarantee. Check out PPI today at ppi2pass.com to see all the options available for FE and PE exam prep. Now let's dive into today's episode.
And I would say it's probably not what most people would advise or say is normal, but for me, it was kind of going against the norm. This goes all the way back to high school when I was advanced in my math class and I wanted to go to the college and take math. And the counselor's like, why don't you just do what all the other students do? Just take this class. And I said no. And I went to the college and took a class senior year there. And then in college, I had an advisor tell me, just take this class. You don't need any of those other things. That's not worth it. Having my dad and my grandpa both as engineers, I kind of had seen a different side of things and knew what I wanted for myself. And I kind of went against the advisor's direction on some of that. When it came to graduation, I had friends that were like, I'm just going to stay and do my master's. And I said, okay, have fun. I'm going to go work. And I think 2 weeks later, I started full time and I was working. And for me, that made a big difference in terms of even getting to my professional engineering license by going straight into work and doing my master's at night. While I was working full time, I was able to get my engineering license about a year or two faster than any of my friends from college were. I still don't think they're licensed. So for me, that was a big stepping stone into my career, was kind of looking forward and not staying in the moment. I think there's a lot to be said with education. Education's great, but career doesn't always play exactly how education plays out. So I think for me, it was a big thing of always looking forward, always kind of checking that next step or looking at how I can get my license as an engineer, when I can take my PE exam and what I need to do to get there. So it's probably not the most advisable thing for everybody. But in my sense, it was kind of one of those things of looking outside of the little world that I was living in and seeing how I can impact my career years ahead of now, not just in that moment.
That's great. So you were just like, you really wanted to be focused on work experience. You know, I want work experience. I want to keep moving myself closer to becoming a licensed professional engineer. And that was your goal, and you were just focused on that, and you tried to make that happen. Even if people were saying, take extra courses, do extra things, you just had the goal and you were moving towards it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I credit all my advisors. They were great. But when you live in education for 20 years and you haven't seen the industry in a while, I think there's stuff to be said for that. And that's one advice I give to everyone, is kind of look ahead, look where you think you want to go, or see where you might end up, and look at those requirements and play it out that way, rather than just how do I get through school? Because at the end of the day, once you get through school, what's your next step? So I know a lot of people get stuck there. And that was one of my big things was what's next? What do I need? And where can I get that now? So I hope that you enjoyed that conversation with Heidi. Sometimes you need to follow the advice of a mentor and advisor. Sometimes you need to follow your own gut and do what you think is best for you. And Heidi had a really clear goal, and she was focused on it. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing to our channel here. We put out videos like this on a weekly basis to help engineers become great managers and leaders, and to help them have the best careers that they can have. We'll see you next week.